Hey every peoples, Marcus from Fifth Ace Comics here, and welcome back to Ironsworn. So, in our last session, we made some significant progress with Tamara's quest. Tamara found the Mine of Spring and the community of Stoneford. She descended into the mine, she slew the Nightspawn that had been twisted and mutated by the Skystone, she retrieved the meteor, she brought it back to the surface, and now the community of Stoneford has to evacuate the town because with the meteor's impact, the fault lines and mines underneath the town are collapsing and threatening to engulf the town. Its geological balance is completely thrown off. It's going to collapse into the earth very soon. So basically the people can't live there anymore, and Tamara has sworn to get them out. She has suggested they go to Rockbridge, the community to the north, inhabited by a single person, Saskia, the last leader of Rockbridge, who has an enchantment placed upon her that as long as she stays in Rockbridge, the community will be verdant and abundant, but she's the only one left. So Tamara figures it would be the perfect place for the people of Stoneford to shelter and live until the geological problems have passed over in Stoneford and the people can eventually return. So, in our last session, I was a little bit enthusiastic and I wasn't really keeping track of all my failures, but you'll notice now I have updated the failure track. We're almost up to a full 6 progress on the failure track, so Tamara may get to learn from her experiences again very soon. And I did notice that I did make a couple of mistakes in the previous video. Thank you everyone for putting up with any mistakes that I make. I am obviously only human and I will make a mistake here and there, but as long as it doesn't detract from the narrative experience, I think we'll be okay, and thank you for sticking with me despite it. So anyway, Tamara now has to escort the people of Stoneford to Rockbridge, and we have it here as a dangerous vow. And I'm thinking because there isn't much to fill up the progress by simply getting to Rockbridge, I'm going to say with each milestone on this journey, something is going to happen, because this is a lot of people to move. They're going to have their own troubles, they're going to have their own questions and their own skepticism. So things are very likely to go wrong somewhere along the way. And it might not even be because of the people. There's always the chance that they'll be attacked. There's always a chance that something is going to go wrong in the land. There might be another earthquake. There might be a terrible storm. We don't know. Something could happen. So that's why I'm going to say for each milestone we make upon this journey, Tamara will have to face off against something, whether that is a physical threat or some kind of negotiation, depending on people, and that is how we will fill out the progress for this quest. So, when last we left Tamara, she had emerged from the Mine of Spring. She had told Tessa, the leader of Stoneford, that everyone must now make preparations to leave. Tessa had signaled to everyone. They have started gathering up their belongings, word has spread throughout the town, and now Tamara has a couple hundred people that need to be relocated to the north. She stands before them in her imposing nature. She's got her shield, she's got her axe, but she also has this basket on her back containing the meteor that had fallen, and it is enchanted with the runestones prepared by Jihan the Bird Lady. And basically the source of the Iron Blight, or this wave of it at least, is resting on her back. And she is going to have to carry this with her all the way to Rockbridge and then to Jihan as well, so that they can properly dispose of it. So she obviously cuts a very imposing figure, this like nearly 7-foot tall woman, massive axe, massive shield, massive rock on her back. But that is how she rallies the people to her. She calls out to them, "People of Stoneford, I know this is a difficult thing for you to do, to leave behind the community that you have raised your children in, that you have made lives for yourselves in for all these years. And trust me, one day you may yet return to it. But for now, the danger is too great. I will lead you to the north, to Rockbridge, a community abundant with food and shelter, and there you may be safe until the danger here has passed. I ask you to place your trust in me. I have sworn the Iron Vow, and that means I will take you all the way to Rockbridge and keep you safe on pain of death, lest my honor be besmirched for all time. And with that, she signals to the caravan leaders. They've probably gotten like wagons with oxen together, maybe a couple of horses, and like loaded onto their carts, put some wagons together. This is all taken like the better part of the day to put together. But she signals to the wagon leaders, and they all start calling out to everyone, and a column starts to form as they head out of Stoneford and heading towards Rockbridge. So we are going to go to our moves, and we are going to undertake the journey. And I have set up the progress for it here. It is a dangerous journey to get to Rockbridge, because while it isn't too far away, it is very dangerous with all these people. Something is bound to go wrong. So let us undertake the journey. Strong hit. Good start. So let us figure out what waypoint we are at. We'll mark progress. And let us figure out what kind of waypoint we have reached. We'll roll on the location. A river ford. Okay, so there's probably some kind of river close here. This is probably one of the rivers that eventually feeds into the Etania Caverns down here. Tamara could potentially divert herself off to the cavern to let the Etania know about the Skystone that she has. But one, she probably doesn't want to expose the Skystone to the Etania, because that would look bad on her for bringing the source of the plague to the people that it affects the most. And two, because she's escorting all these people, that's not really a viable option. She can't leave these people alone. But this river probably leads all the way down to this deep fjord that feeds into the Etania Cavern. So let us learn a few things about this location. Let's see. What is at this location? Well, we can use the aspect and focus oracles to learn more about what can go on here. So let's find an aspect. Depleted. Okay. Depleted exit. Maybe this particular ford has been blocked by something. One of the mouths of the river has been dammed by something. And while the people would have packed plenty of fresh water, they had to do it in a bit of a hurry. So there's a shortage of water within the caravan line, and they were intending to fill up at the ford as they were making their way north. But for some reason, this area of the ford, it seems to be running dry. So Tamara figures, okay, something's blocking the water. I need to sort this out. I need to find a way to get these people some water. Well, we got a strong hit on the undertake the journey. So we can mark progress, and we don't have to miss out on any supply there. So now Tamara, I think maybe she can gather information. We've got to find out a bit more about this depleted river. So everyone, as the column is pulling up to the river, the word comes down the line, and people are starting to panic, and they find out the river's run dry. But there was a storm just the other day. How can the river have run dry? So let's gather some information and see what Tamara can find out about this. So let's roll with wits and find out. Miss. Okay, so not much to learn about this here. Let's mark that failure. So maybe whatever it is has is like openly malicious. Maybe this isn't just some random happenstance. Well, we got to pay the price. So let's see if that can give us any insight. A new danger or foe is revealed. Okay, yes. So this has something to do with some malicious intent. Whatever is blocking the river, it was done intentionally, either to slow down the caravan in some way, or to try and sabotage the town. So Tamara obviously doesn't know what to think about this. That gather information roll didn't really work out so well. So maybe she can face danger to see if she can spot whatever it is that has blocked this river. Maybe whoever has done it is nearby. So let's face danger with insight or observation. So we're going to use wits to see if we can spot whatever it is that has done this. Let's find out. Weak hit, okay. So this will probably be a delay. So we will succeed, but we'll suffer 1 momentum. So Tamara is going to go looking for whatever this is. Obviously, this is going to take some time. She tells everyone in the column, stay put, be on guard. I'm going to search and find out what is blocking the river. So she heads up the river, follows whatever slim trickle of water there still is, and she can see a little up the ways, just over the hill, because there are some mountains around here. So she heads just a little bit up the mountainside to see where the river feeds in from, and she can see Oracle. Let's ask: are there elves sabotaging us here? And I think this is going to be a likely roll. It's not going to be 50-50. I've got a pretty strong trunk. Yeah, okay. Yes, it's absolutely the elves. Those elves that Tamara drove off before, they've turned around and they are taking it out on the town again. So Tamara looks and she sees how the elves have used their strange magic to kind of conjure a dam across the river. It sort of blocks the river and diverts the water away so that it flows in different directions. Like it breaks up into all these little rivulets that just sort of flow out from itself. And it wouldn't normally work so well, but because this is the elves' magic doing it, and it's formed this thick lattice work of roots and leaves that have like crossed over each other and entwined themselves to block the river. There's likely some elves here. Oracle, is it just the one elf or are there more? Let's make this a 50-50. Is it just one elf? Yes, okay. So it was just one of the elves. There is this elf shaman or druid of some kind who has blocked the river with this magic. And he, she, they, whatever genders elves use, they've kind of woven this across the river. Tamara sees this, and let us have her. Maybe she can approach stealthily. Let's see if she can get there stealthily. Do we face danger, or should we? Would Tamara? I think Tamara, she might try to approach stealthily, but if she attacks, she's not going to try and attack with shadow. She wouldn't try to ambush someone, but she would get some investigation. So let's roll with shadow to see if Tamara can sneak up on this guy. Check it out. Strong hit. How about that? We get some momentum for that. So this elf is so intensely focused on weaving their magic and keeping the river back that they don't notice Tamara approaching. So Tamara creeps up behind this elf, has her axe at the ready, and kind of brings it around at the elf's throat, so that the point of the axe blade is sort of like at the elf's throat, kind of grazes their mask a little bit as she puts it in place. And she says, "What do you think you're doing?" And the elf just sort of freezes for a second. "Well, I suppose it was only a matter of time before I was discovered. Although if you had given me but a few more hours, I would have been able to leave this and go about my business. And Tamara says, your business is depriving my kinsmen of water. You seek to sabotage the settlement of Stoneford. Some alliteration there. And the elf says, yes. After what has become of that place, what they have done. And Tamara says, what do you mean, what have they done? And the elf says, from their accursed mine the iron blight came, and it is destroying my people. And Tamara says, it is destroying all peoples. Perhaps you are more affected by it than we, but I can assure you the plague will end soon. And the elf will say, how could you possibly know that? Tamara says, I have the source of the plague with me on my back. I carry this burden for the entire Ironlands. The elf will sort of turn their head very slightly. Says, you bear the Skystone? Tamara says, yes. I would show you, but I doubt that would be very healthy for you, would it? The elf almost like visibly shakes a little bit. Says, what do you want? Tamara says, undo your magic. Leave this place and return to the wilds, and you will suffer no further conflict with me. So now we're going to compel him, or them, we're going to compel them, and we're doing it with iron, because we are threatening. Let's see. Strong hit once again. Oh, Tamara, you are fantastic today. I say that too soon. Something's going to go wrong eventually. But we get some momentum. And the elf will say, very well. Stand back. And Tamara steps back. Still has her axe raised. Doesn't quite trust the elf. But the elf will wave their hands in another motion. And the roots will start to untangle. And the water slowly starts to flow down again. And little by little it opens wider and wider so that the water doesn't rush out in one long, in like one massive burst, but it just gradually starts to increase the flow of the water. And the roots and rocks pull themselves away. And the elf will turn to Tamara, and they've got a very, very intricate wooden mask, different from the ones that Tamara's seen before, because this is a spellcaster. And the elf will say to Tamara, you know, many of your kind would have merely slain me to undo my magic. What makes you so different, human, that you would grant me this mercy? Tamara says, this is not mercy. This is practicality. And if I were to slay you, I would do it when you had a weapon in your hands. I consider myself to have more honor than someone who would stab an enemy in the back when I could just as easily do it to their face. The elf will nod. Your honor will only take you so far, human. Our conflict may escalate no further today. But that may not always be the case. Are you prepared to do what is necessary when the time comes? Tamara will say, leave now, before I change my mind. Elf will sniff haughtily behind the mask, turn and walk away up the river. Okay, phew! Well, that's one conflict resolved without actually having to fight. So Tamara will head back downriver following the increased flow of water, and she gets back to the caravan, and people are already starting to fill their water skins and preparing to move on. But I think while we're here, we shall make camp, because we've got to get some health and spirit back up, because if we do end up having to fight, we're going to need everything we can get. So Tamara will return to the caravan as the water flows along with her, and everyone starts cheering, and Tamara will go to Tessa and say, we will make camp here tonight. we should be safe if all goes well. And Tessa will say, well, what was wrong with the river? Because Tessa is a very suspicious person by nature. How were you able to bring the water down? What was going on up there? And Tamara will say, merely an act of spite that need not be dwelled upon any longer. She doesn't want to, because Tessa's also very cowardly, so Tamara doesn't want to scare her too much. Basically say, suffice to say, it is sorted. So let us make camp and recover for the day. So we will roll with supply. We got a +3 supply. Let's here. We hit. Okay, so we choose one. Let's get some more spirit back. Don't want that to get too low. Okay, so tomorrow we'll relax for the evening, and in the morning the caravan will pick itself up again, water all fully restocked, and we will undertake the journey once more. Let's go. Roll for it. Weak hit. Okay, so we progress well for the day. We'll lose a bit of supply. That's fine. Let's go to our progress. We'll mark progress there. Oh, and before I forget, we got to mark progress on the vow here because we overcame that milestone without any issue. So let us find out what the new milestone entails. Oracles. Let's give an aspect and a focus for this point, as well as a location. So let's get the location. A valley. Okay, so we're coming down out of the mountains now, and we're going more into the lowlands. Give us an aspect and a focus for this valley. Let's see. Secret message. Ooh, interesting. Secret message. Okay, let's find out something about the secret message. Let's get an action and a theme for it. See if we can define it a bit more. Depart solution. Okay. Well, the solution to Stoneford's problem was for them to depart. So maybe there is a secret message involved from someone. Okay, so I think as they're heading down into the valley, they're heading through the valley, and they're starting to slow down towards the end of the day, and people are starting to set up camp again. They've used up some supplies, so they want to rest a little bit. And Tamara receives a note. So while she's busy organizing her stuff, a child from the village runs up to her, just a young child, probably around 5 or 6, like tugs on her cape and hands her a note before running off again. And Tamara takes it and opens it, and it says, there are people in the community that do not appreciate being uprooted from their home. Watch your back tonight. And Tamara will kind of like look around, and there's no indication as to which direction the child came from or where they went. So someone knows that someone else doesn't like Tamara's decision and may try to do something to her tonight. Okay, I think Tamara is going to want to resupply while she's here. So she's going to... Let's secure an advantage before we resupply. Let's see if she can convince some of the other people here in the town to go hunting with her, or allow her to come hunting with them. So let's roll, and we'll do it with art, because she is using charm and loyalty to say, hey, why did we all go hunting together and see if we can resupply for the caravan? So let's roll with heart. Nice! Strong hit with an opportunity. So now we can take momentum and then make a move with a +1. Either or. And with that opportunity, let's say with this opportunity, the person that sent Tamara that secret message is going to be part of this hunting party. So maybe with this opportunity, they'll get a chance to talk to Tamara while they're out resupplying. Okay, so let us roll to resupply. And we'll get a +1 because we have secured the advantage. Yep, make another move now. Add a +1. Roll with wits. Get a +1 modifier, and oh dear, it's a complication. Okay, so now we have an opportunity and a complication. So I think whoever was sending that message is part of the hunting party, and they're going to try and talk to Tamara about whatever is going to happen. But when they try, whatever happens is going to happen then. So Tamara is out with the hunting party. They're not finding a lot of food. Game seems to be a bit sparse down here in the valley. They're finding a little bit of supply for the caravan, but not much to keep it up. And one of the hunters approaches Tamara. Let's quickly find out a name for them, shall we? Let's go to the oracles, and we shall roll on the Ironlander names. Kataka. Kataka is this Ironlander. And they approach Tamara, and let's give a quick descriptor for Kataka here. They're wise, artistic, and skilled. Okay, so Kataka is obviously a very observational person. That's why they were quick to warn Tamara about whatever was going on. And they'll catch Tamara alone at some point, and they'll say to her, I take it you got my message then? Sort of whisper under their breath to Tamara. Tamara will look around and say, yes, it's sort of why I organized this hunting party. I'd hoped that if someone had planned for something, this might give them the opportunity. And Kataka will say, I see. It's risky, though, trying to draw them out like that. Tamara will say, people hold a grudge or seek retribution for a slight, often make mistakes in the short term. And it's at that point one of the hunter's arrows will come flying towards them. Let's face danger to see if we catch it before it hits. Let's face danger. And I'll say, this is going to be an edge roll, and we don't have a very good opportunity with edge. But let's do it anyway, just out of curiosity. Let's see. Yeah, it's a miss. Figured it would be a miss, but that's fine. So we'll pay the price, because this might not hit Tamara. This might actually hit Kataka. So let's roll Oracle. A new danger or foe is revealed. Oh, we know that. But it doesn't say it hit Tamara, but maybe it hit Kataka instead. So while Kataka is musing about this with Tamara, this arrow flies past her head and embeds itself in Kataka's chest. Oracle, are they dead? Let's roll a 50-50. Ask the Oracle, did that kill Kataka? No. Okay, so they're still alive. It sort of takes them high in the shoulder. It knocks them over. They're kind of on the ground. They cry out in pain. Tamara whirls around, and she sees that there is a few of these hunters. Oracle, are these skilled hunters, or are they just regular common folk? Because there might be a few hunters. Let's roll 50-50. Okay, they are skilled hunters. Let's roll to enter the fray. Go to moves. Going to enter the fray, and this will be with an ambush. This will be an ambush. So we're rolling with wits, and let's get a progress bar up. Stoneford hunters, and because there are, well, are there a few, is there more than one? Oracle? Give me 50-50? Is there more than one? Yes, okay, yep, they're not, whoever this is, they're not dumb enough to attack alone, so they will be a formidable foe. And we'll enter the fray, rolling with wits. Strong hit. Okay, so they really gave away their position there a bit too much. So we get some momentum. We have the initiative. Tamara turns around and she sees them. They're going to shout, "You tried to take us away from our homes, Warden! You're going to pay for that! We would have been safe. We could have endured. But if we get rid of you, it'll be a lot easier to convince that weakling Tessa to take us back." And Tamara is having none of it. She is charging forward towards this guy, and she is going to strike. And let's drop a momentum for Asunder. Let's roll and see. Going with iron. Come on now. Weak hit. Okay. So we inflict the harm, lose initiative. So that's 3 harm. Let's go there. Mark. 1, 2, 3 with the Sunderer. But Tamara's now sort of situated herself in close with these guys. And so we've lost the initiative. Oracle, what are these guys going to do? Let's check out the combat actions. What are they going to try and do? Use the terrain to gain advantage. Okay, so while she's gotten in close with one of the hunters, the others are going to sort of split off and try and gain some high ground to use their bows to shoot down. So Tamara will clash because she's still engaged with the one in front of her, but she's going to have to clash and use her shield to try and fend off some of the arrows while this is happening. So let us clash, and we will go iron, and we'll get a +1 because of our shield. Weak hit. Okay, inflict harm but pay the price. So we'll go to our progress. Mark 1 and 2 because we didn't sunder, so it's only 2 harm. Let's pay the price. See what happens. Roll Oracle. Something of value is lost or destroyed. Oh dear. I think Kataka is dead. Oh dear. So while Tamara has been engaged with this, Kataka has died, unfortunately, back there. So that's no good. Well, let's keep clashing. Tamara will hear like the death rattle of Kataka behind her, and that's going to make her mad. So she is going to turn the tide. She is going to throw herself into the fight. And she will shout, "You bastards! You killed one of your own just to spite me!" And she is going to strike hard with a +1 because we're turning the tide, and we're gonna drop a momentum for the Sunderer. So let us strike with iron with a +1. Go. Weak hit. It's something, but we still do 3 harm. So 1, 2, 3. Oh boy. Oracle, what are they doing now? What's their next combat action? Coordinate with allies. Okay, so once again, they're kind of moving themselves into advantageous positions while one of them distracts. Another one fires at Tamara. I think she'll have to face danger. She's going to have to face danger. And she'll do it with her shield. Rolling with iron. To defend herself from their coordinated attack. Strong hit. Fantastic. She'll get a momentum back for that. I'd say this could end the fight. So as they try to coordinate with each other and they're sort of firing arrows to keep her off balance, she charges through all of them and slams into the guy in front of her. Let us conclude our progress with this fight. With a strong hit. Fantastic. So the fight is over. Tamara charges in, beats them down as they're trying to coordinate. She gets up right in their faces, it throws them off, and she just like batters them down and puts her foot on the leader's chest. Has her axe at his face and says, "Yield!" And they all kind of like the one that she's pinning down like lets go of his weapon. The other two kind of stumble back and drop theirs. And Tamara says, "I am trying to help your people, and you slew one of your own out of spite against me. How low can you sink? What do you call yourself?" And let's roll up a name for this this dissident. What's their name? Miller. Oh, that could be a male name. I suppose I sort of defined him as male early on, but we'll call him Miller. That's fine. And he will say, "I am Miller." Tamara will say to him, "Miller, I'm going to take Kataka's corpse back to Tessa. You will confess to her what you have done here today, and you will turn yourself in for her judgment." So let us make a compel move to see what he will do. We'll compel with iron. What we do, we hit. Okay, so he will turn himself in, and we get a momentum for the hit. And he will say, "Very well, Warden, I will turn myself in, but I beg of you, do not let my sentence be death. I was only doing this because I was concerned for my family and my home. Please, do not let them kill me for this." Tamara will say, "I will speak on your behalf, but the decision will ultimately be hers." And Tamara will get up off of him, and she will go over to Kataka's body. She will remove the arrow from them, close their eyes, and pick up the corpse. The other two hunters will pull Miller to his feet, and Tamara will motion them back to the camp. When she gets there, she will explain to Tessa what happened. Tessa's obviously shocked by this. Other people are talking about this, and rumors are spreading throughout the camp. And Tamara will say to Tessa, Miller acted in what he believed was the defense of his family. He has asked that you do not sentence him to death. I cannot tell you what to do, but I will ask that you spare his life and find another punishment equally suitable. So Tamara will attempt to compel Tessa to see if that will be enough to spare him the death sentence. Strong hit. Okay. So we'll get a +1 momentum on that. We're up to maximum momentum. How about that? And Tessa will say, "Very well, Tamara, I will trust your judgment. I'm sure you, like many of us, do not want to see more bloodshed. We just want our people to survive. But he will face judgment for this once we reach Rockbridge. For now, he will be kept bound in one of the wagons, and he will be the last to receive rations every night. And the bare minimum." Tamara will nod and say, "That will do for now. Once we reach Rockbridge, a proper judgment may be passed." Woo! Okay. So that will mark some more progress on the vow, for overcoming that bit. So let us prepare to undertake the journey once again. It's a night full of rumors and whispers throughout the caravan, but they know now that whatever kind of plot there may be against Tamara, they know better than to attack her. So let us undertake the journey the next day. Roll, see what happens. Oop. That's a miss. We could burn momentum for a strong hit. You know what? I'm going to do it. What's the point of saving up all this momentum if I don't burn it? So let's burn it. Down to 0. That's okay. We get the strong hit. We mark progress on the journey. And let's see what this waypoint is all about. Oracle, give us a location. A river. Okay, so there's another river over here. This one's probably a bit wider. The other one was just a small sort of trickle or water supply. But this is probably a much bigger river. Perhaps. We don't know. Let's find out. And let's roll for an aspect and a focus here. Forgotten information. Okay. So maybe they forgot about this river. Maybe that maybe Tessa was told that there is a river in this direction, but she forgot. She forgot about it, and she didn't tell Tamara. So this river is now a bit of an obstacle. This is quite the large river, and now they have to ford it to get across. And anyone who's played Oregon Trail will know that fording a river is not particularly easy when you have oxen and wagons. So the caravan sort of comes to a halt, and Tamara runs to the front to find out what's going on, and they realize there's this river in the way, and they don't know what to do. So Tamara will come to the front, and people are panicking, and she'll say, calm down, calm down. Obviously, this is a bit of a problem, but we can still make it past this. I know what to do. And because this is where Tamara's waterborne asset is going to come in, because she knows all things watercraft, water travel, aquatic environments, and creatures. So she is going to let's try and secure an advantage first to see if she can assess the situation properly and see what comes of it. So let's roll. And this is to do with aquatic, so we are doing wits. We're going to get a +1. So let's roll and find out. Strong hit. Okay, so we're going to get some. Let's see. We can take control to make another move and get a +1, or we can take 2 momentum. We could get 2 momentum back. We're kind of low, but I think the +1 is going to be more valuable for this next bit. So I'll go with that. Tamara will take control, and she'll start calling out to everyone. All right, I'm going to need several wagons. Bring them together, start taking the wheels off, and start dismantling them. Take the wheels off and find hammer and nails. And she's going to start coordinating the villagers, and they are going to start building some rafts, or at least, what's the term? I believe it's called caulking. I don't know the exact term. Again, I'm getting this from Oregon Trail. But they basically remove the wheels from the wagons, and they start lining them up and everything, basically preparing to float them across the river. So now Tamara is going to face danger to get them across. So she's going to get a +1 on this from securing an advantage, and she's going to get a +1 on it for the waterborne. So she's going to get a +2 on getting these people across. And once again, she's doing it with expertise, insight, or observation. So we're rolling wits. And get a +2 modifier. So let's see how it worked out. Strong hit. There we go. We'll get a momentum back for that. So with Tamara's coordination and her knowledge of water travel, they successfully caulk the wagons and get them across the river. It takes the better part of the day because there's a lot of people to move across. There's a lot of stuff to get across the river. But by the end of it, the whole caravan is across. And it's thanks to Tamara's expertise in the waterborne. So I think now that we're on the other side, let us try and resupply once again. So in between all of this, Tamara's going to try and catch some fish for supper. Let's try and resupply while we're here. Unfortunately, resupplying on the waterborne does not give a +1. But it's a strong hit anyway, so we'll get 2 supply. Fantastic. So, all in all, a very productive day for Tamara. Now let us mark here. Great. So I think we only need 1 more milestone before we get to Rockbridge. So let's undertake the journey once again the next day. See what happens. Fingers crossed. Go, undertake the journey. Roll for it. Wits. Strong hit. Maximum roll. Thank you very much. Let us make the... Let's mark the progress. Okay. And what is at this waypoint? Oracle. Give me a location, please. Waste. Okay, so while there are some plains that are close to Rockbridge, that we had previously established, there's like this large stretch of just nothing, it seems. Let's give an aspect and a focus for this location. It is expansive and expansive information. Okay, interesting. Let's also give an action and a theme. See what we can find. Seize Destiny. Okay, so maybe they're busy setting up camp for the night. The wastes are open. They're under the open sky. Tamara looks up. She can see Chandra, Jihan's hawk scout, is kind of floating around up top. And Tamara sort of like looks up at her and thinking, this bird still following me around. Probably reporting back to Jihan. And Tessa will approach Tamara and say, I suppose we'll be reaching Rockbridge within the next few days. I really can't thank you enough for all of this. It seems to go above and beyond what a warden would normally do. We used to have wardens back in Stoneford, you know. They none of them lasted very long, and I think once the Skystone fell, most of them didn't want anything to do with us anymore, and they left. Which is why we tried to send for help. And you were the first one who came. And Tamara will say, perhaps it is beyond what most wardens would do, but it shouldn't be, you know? I would think that anyone who truly wants to serve their community and help people would not be limited by what their station says they should do. If people can be helped, if you can do the right thing, then you should do it. So I think this is where the Seize Destiny is coming in. Tamara's sort of contemplating exactly what her background vow means, because she's been thinking about how she wants to protect the entire Ironlands, but I think now she's just sort of realizing how big that vow is. She has been through so much in the past few weeks, and she has gone and retrieved the stone. She has fought with horrific beasts. She's leading an entire community into a new home. And all of this is just in one little corner of the Ironlands. I mean, if we have a look at the map, right? Oh, whoops, that's where that went. Cancel that. This is just one little corner of the Ironlands. Let us zoom out. I mean, look at that. That's the entirety of the Ironlands. And Tamara's just been over here in the corner. She wants to save the entire Ironlands? It's a lot. And Tessa will say, if only the other wardens had thought like you, we might be more prepared for this kind of thing. So I think, let us... What could we do here? that might progress it a little bit. With all this going on, I mean, there doesn't seem to be much we can do here in terms of a move. But maybe if we just make camp, and I mean, we've still reached a milestone technically. Although, I suppose what we could do, we could try and roll on the failure track. But it's potentially so much experience. Although Tamara is getting very contemplative. I don't want Tamara to go off on an ill-fated path. So I think we're just going to make camp. Let's roll. Roll with supply. A miss. Oh dear. Okay, so something is going to happen while they're making camp. This could be it. This could be the thing that that advances it. Let's pay the price. Find out what it is. Oracle? Causes a delay or puts you at a disadvantage. Okay, usually when I say a delay, that erases progress on a journey. Okay. Well, let's do that. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. So maybe it's just going to take a little bit longer to get there. All right. We'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that, and we'll undertake the journey the next day, and we'll see what happens. There's still time. There's still time. So let's roll wits in. Weak hit. Okay, we'll take it. So we drop a supply, and we'll get to another waypoint after we mark progress. Summary. So I want to see if we can do at least one more thing to these people. So let us roll on the Oracle. See where we are. Give us a location, Oracle. Foothills. Okay, so we're coming up out of the waste. We're getting into some small foothills. The rock bridge is probably just over the way. So let's see. Roll for an aspect. Dead enclosure. Okay. And an action and a theme. Change. Corruption. Oh boy. Okay, so I think this could be an anomaly. This could be an anomaly that has sort of appeared, maybe as a reaction from Kai. Maybe Kai from the Pass of Runes, the zealot that prevented Tamara, or tried to prevent Tamara from retrieving the runestones. Maybe this is part of his further revenge against her. Maybe he tried to do something to Rockbridge, but Rockbridge is magically protected. But maybe Kai set up something out here to corrupt the area, and this enclosure, maybe it was like maybe he gathered up some kind of, maybe gathered up like some wildlife or some cattle, put them as enclosure, and slaughtered them all in some kind of sacrificial ritual to corrupt this area, which has formed an anomaly of some kind. So what an anomaly is, I'll show you in a second. Stand by. Okay, so anomalies are specific kinds of scene challenges that have been introduced in the Delve expansion. So if we have a look here, anomalies you set up with a progress bar, and you set up with a countdown bar. So you determine how dangerous is the anomaly. This will probably be a dangerous one, I should think. This isn't like incredibly powerful, but it is dangerous. And then you have to use the Fate's Danger or Secure an Advantage roll to fill up the progress bar. But if you get a miss, you also have to fill it in on the countdown track. And if the countdown track fills up, you have to roll to complete the progress whether or not you think you filled up enough or not. So you've got 4 misses before you have to roll and see if you succeed. So I think for this kind of anomaly, this is probably going to be some kind of visible corruption. Like the land is going to be overgrown with these weird plants. It's almost going to look like almost like a dead swamp almost. I mean, they're in the foothills, but it's going to look like the corruption has killed the ground, and there's all kinds of weird-looking plants growing everywhere, all emanating from this dead enclosure where these cattle were slaughtered. So I think Tamara's going to have to try and navigate this, and then she will have to probably burn these cattle, these carcasses, to try and burn away the corruption. So let's go to our progress here. We're going to set it up